It's Divas That Care Radio. Stories, strategies, and ideas to inspire positive change. Welcome to Divas That Care, a network of women committed to making our world a better place for everyone. This is a global movement for women, by women, engaged in a collaborative effort to create a better world for future generations. To find out more about the movement, visit divasthatcare.com after the show. Right now, though, stay tuned for another jolt of inspiration.
Welcome back to Confidence in Bloom, the podcast for women who are ready to reconnect with who they truly are and step into their next chapter with confidence. This month's theme is Unapologetically Unique, because confidence isn't about becoming more like everyone else. It's about becoming more of who you really are. In a world where comparison is constant and visibility can feel intimidating, many women hold themselves back from fully showing up. They question their voice, their story, and whether they're too much or not enough. Today's guest knows exactly how powerful visibility can be when it comes from authenticity. Orzala is a visibility coach and former owner of the award-winning social media agency Make It Happen Services. With over 13 years of entrepreneurial experience, she has helped business owners turn their online presence into real-world impact. She's also the creator of the sellout networking event, Coffee and Collab, which created incredible buzz in the small business community and helped entrepreneurs connect, collaborate, and get seen. Now, Orzala helps entrepreneurs cut through the noise, grow their platforms both online and offline, and step confidently into the spotlight they deserve. Today, we're talking about owning your story without apology, breaking free from comparison culture, and why your difference is actually your greatest power. Orzala, welcome to Confidence in Bloom.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, of course. Now, you have spent years running a successful social media agency before stepping into what we call visibility coaching. I want to know what inspired that shift.
Oh God. It's like, okay, it's just gonna take an hour. It's a long story, but I will basically just give you the shorter version of it. So while I had my social media agency, I was also coaching, and a majority of my clients were female entrepreneurs. So I had two sets of clients that wanted content done for them, and then there were clients that we actually worked basically one-on-one to help them so they can manage their own social media. And what I see in each client was when female entrepreneurs were basically kind of a pattern that was basically a challenge that they all had. And one of the biggest thing that they struggled with was basically being vulnerable on social media.
Right. And so that was where you kind of stepped in and said, okay, you don't have to like bear it all. You don't have to go totally naked, but is it like one step at a time, or one, like, you know, how in the coaching world, we say we peel the onion, it's one layer at a time, right?
It is. So it was interesting. So when I work with clients from a managing aspect of it, we would kind of come up with a strategy and create the content. And the challenge that we had, my team and I, it was when we said, you know what, we want to post that talks about you, a little bit more about you. It would take a client forever to produce that type of content. So some of the excuses that I would hear, and this is from management and coaching, was, for example, I would do a social media audit and ask that they need to refresh their, let's say, headshot. That's very basic one, because, you know, I would look at a client, they look very different than basically their online presence. It's been so many years that they haven't got basically.
Right.
And what I would get was, I'm going to get new photos once I lose weight.
Oh, I know all about that. Yes, I know all about that. So they wanted to be seen.
Correct.
As the coach, but they didn't want to be, or as the business owner that they were, but they didn't want to be seen as who they were because they were not comfortable in their own skin.
Correct. So it's like when I got into this space, I never thought that a lot of it is mindset related. Your marketing, and it's very, you know, cut and dry.
Right.
But then it's like I'm chat now I'm dealing with managing my clients' mindsets because
Wow.
we're
Yeah.
not getting results if we're creating content. Well, we're trying to create content or we're just relying on stock images because
I can,
yeah,
you know what? I can totally understand
yeah,
where they're coming from. I remember as a stylist being in the dressing room with a woman, and I picked out an outfit that I think looked absolutely amazing on her. She's standing in front of the mirror, almost in tears, saying, Tina, I could never wear this out of my house. And I'm thinking, like, why? Like, what is wrong with it? Like, it looks absolutely amazing on you. And she, and then she found reasons to not like it. Right.
yeah.
My husband's going to hate it. My friends are going to hate it. I can't walk into a room wearing red. I've never worn red before. Right. Or whatever it was. And it's not about, you're right. It's the mindset, right? It's about that itty bitty shitty committee and what we tell ourselves, how much we're worth. Like, we're not good enough. We're not worth it. We're not, I don't deserve to wear a beautiful, $900 outfit. No. Right. So, yeah. So it works the same in business.
It does. And this is why I always say business is like 80% mindset and 20% strategy.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. So that answers a lot of
Yeah,
questions.
like I'm not a mindset coach, but what I have done now, since I've shifted. So what I wanted to do, so while I was managing clients, which means I was creating content, I was still coaching them because I need to get them comfortable to say, well, we need this content. We talked about it. We need your updated images, or we needed your branding photo shoot.
Wow.
Um,
Okay. So that, I
yeah,
mean, I love that that was your answer, right? I don't love that that is the answer, right? Like
yes.
do you know what I mean? Like that's because that makes me feel like it makes me feel heavy for these women, right? So what do you think then? Like, I mean, obviously, I'm not alone. My clients haven't been alone, right? And I that's why I'm here, right? To allow women and our listeners to realize and understand that they are not alone. And so let's start with, what do you think is holding them, like all these women, back from owning their story and being unapologetic about it?
To me, in the social media space, which I can only talk about it in the
Of
marketing
course.
space because we're kind of putting ourselves out there. I feel like for a lot of us, we struggle to be vulnerable in general. But then now in the social media space, we're being vulnerable publicly to strangers.
Right. And expecting
Yeah.
that to bring in business.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I could see that. And
So
so how do you handle that? How do you handle that? Because I mean, we were not trained that vulnerability is okay. We're learning this now.
especially in business, right?
Right. Right.
So for me, which what I teach my clients is to start from like small steps. So for example, if I would to ask them, let's create a post about you, or if you want to share a little bit about yourself, let's basically remove the family. So what are you comfortable sharing? For example, what are you comfortable sharing if you go to a networking event? From there, it's just building the muscle. Also, for me, it's showing them the results. So if a post that's about them or they're sharing a little bit more about themselves, if that's going to perform well, it also gives them the courage to want to do more.
And to go deeper.
Correct. And it depends on a brand. For some of us, we don't need to go deeper because I've worked with like realtors, financial advisors, mortgages, like a variety of industries. But for some of them, it's as simple as, for example, I recall a realtor that I basically had a coaching call with where she would refuse to change her pictures because she was a lot older now and she felt like that was going to be an issue with getting clients because people will not want to work with an older realtor.
But when they see you in person, they're going to
Correct.
realize you don't
Yeah.
look like your pictures.
Correct. So she basically wanted the phone ringing and then she'll take care of it after. But to me, you lose credibility. So from a marketing aspect of it, what I see online and what I would see in person, it's two different things. So we already lose trust.
Okay, so that is one thing that I have issues with, is the whole video making.
Yes.
I can put my picture out there. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
But I do have myself personally, now I'm not talking
Mhm.
for everybody. I don't like putting, like, I don't want to make a video. Like, I actually don't want to make videos, right? But I also feel like that's part of, that's part of how social media is working today,
Correct. Yes.
right? So really, if I want social media to work for me, I have to do what everyone else is doing,
It's
even though I
you
don't agree with it.
correct. You don't have to, for example, in terms of the videos, you don't have to be dancing in front of a video. You don't have to do crazy videos. You could be doing talking videos where just talking to the camera. So you can find where you're comfortable and make that work for you. So, for example, I struggle with video. So most of what I teach my clients, and the reason a lot of people come to me because I have a lot of similar struggles. And I have been in the social media space with the similar struggles.
So you get it.
I get it, but at the same time, I have made social media successful for myself despite the struggles.
Aha. So you know the secrets. Yeah.
To me, it's for me. So, for example, for me, I hate doing videos. I've always hated it. I've never basically loved it. But it's basically looking back and seeing what is it that bothers me about it, and then also why is it? So for me, it has a lot to do with like culturally and also growing up with how you look.
Values and beliefs, right? It's how,
So
yeah.
physically, right? So basically culturally for women, you need like if you're an attractive woman, you get to tend to get in my culture a lot more attention, not only from men, but also from, from women in general, like not in another sense, but in sense where like, oh my gosh, she's so attractive because maybe the women want to be attractive like that person.
Right. So the wrong attention is what basically,
It's
yeah.
basically, so a
Yeah.
lot of it is physical, right? So with videos, so for example, for myself, it's like I don't like how I look in a video. So when I'm talking, my facial expressions, all of that, I don't like. I remember going live with an organization that I was basically going to be a speaker. And while I was in the live, I had my mom messaging me and telling me that I should not be making the faces.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Okay. So first lesson, you put the phone away so you don't see those messages, right? But at
Yeah.
the same time, like what was coming out of your mouth wasn't matching the faces that you were making.
Well, she just didn't like how I was making faces and it didn't make me look attractive. It's like, oh, don't raise your
Oh,
eyebrows and yeah, so from
okay.
basically
So
where
that's called body language, right? Like
well,
we
yes,
all do that, right?
correct.
Oh
Correct.
my
But to
goodness, that
me,
is funny.
my point with that example is, and then imagine you're being in a live and then seeing that, right? How does that make you feel in
Well,
that
then
moment?
right away you turn
Yeah,
into like a robot, right? Like,
correct.
okay, no expression, no, you're just looking at the camera, answering the questions, and no heart is coming out with your answer.
And
Wow.
it's going back and going like, okay, where are these fears are coming from? And then kind of wanting to work on it. So for me, definitely that's one. Or like I basically host a networking event and I do reels and I had my sister going like, you need to buy heels.
Everybody's
Wear flats.
your critic, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I grew up with that. And so then guess what's going to happen now? If you're going to put attention spotlight on me, I'm going to shut down because all of those things is going to start playing in my head. And it's not even
Right.
consciously.
Right. And
Yeah,
that's you. Like
that's myself. Yes.
we all have that in one way or another.
Yeah, it could be from someone else. I had a client where she did not want to go and be all the way out there and do videos because what if her in-laws thing, like ex-in-laws?
Ah, right, right. Because we don't know, and this is what it comes
Yeah,
down to. We really don't know who's going to see what we're putting out there, right?
correct.
And every single person we know and every single person we don't know is going to judge us based on their own values and beliefs. And
Yes.
so I mean, that opens that door so wide, right? That now I can't undo that. I can't show the video once it's out there.
Yeah, it's that's what it is. So one of the tricks that I have with my clients is to use stories. So stories, so Instagram, Facebook stories disappear after 24 hours. So when you're just dabbling into
Oh,
like
that's
wanting to do videos, start doing short videos and throw it in your stories. It's going to disappear after 24 hours. It's not going to stay.
okay. Okay, that makes sense. Why not? Now, what I don't like the word disappear in the
Yeah.
same sentence as social media because I don't believe that it just disappears. Like, I mean, I'm, not old, but I'm old, right? And I think in 30 years, 40 years, I may not be here anymore. If it shows up then, it shows up then, right?
It stories does disappear, like it says, unless somebody takes a screenshot of it, but if it's a video, it's not a playing screenshot of a
Right. Like
video.
there's
So
no proof. There's no proof of where this goes after, right? My
it's that,
fear.
yes, but it's also to basically calm their fear, to be like, okay, if you have a fear of everybody seeing it, stories is only for a number of people will see
Right.
it.
So whoever's going to see your story within the 24
Yeah,
hours will see it. Some may judge you,
yeah,
they just might not
yeah.
care and move along, and some may comment, some may not. Yeah. And that makes sense, right? That gives you the practice. It gives you the, what's the word I'm looking, like it gets you out there. It gets you some visibility, not
Correct.
complete, but it gets you some. And then as you get more comfortable, then you can start putting them on as a regular post on reels or whatever, like whatever other system that we use, right? Like I know, like I don't know how reels work. Like I must go into some kind of a library on Facebook and Instagram.
They are there. Yeah, they
Yeah,
stay on your in your feed forever kind of thing unless you delete them.
right.
So the reels are there forever. So that's why the stories are there just for it's also, and you know how it is with a lot of fear, the more practice it just disappears, right?
Right,
So the
right,
more we get to practice that, the more it's just gonna get more, you get more comfortable around doing
right.
video.
And then the more you get comfortable too, the better you get at it, right? The more
Yeah.
information that you share. Because I mean, that's what it comes down to. It's not about you being on the video, it's more about what you're sharing on your video that matters.
That's basically what it is. It's the
Yeah,
content. And
yeah,
you are not like the content. You're just kind of the messenger, kind of messenger passing on the
exactly.
message. So it's like really what you're saying. It's more the quality of the content. So what is it, what is it saying? And now these days, like you need to have a hook. And with the reels, right? There's basically a way of doing it. And with reels, we also have B-roll content, which is, I'm sure you've seen people are just recording themselves working and they're not talking, and then there's text.
Right, right.
So those are perfect for somebody who's struggling with video.
Oh,
Because
okay.
I
Well,
don't
that,
have to talk. I could just be like I could be recording myself right now talking to you. And then when I put it as a reel, I put a trending audio on it and the sound is mute.
okay. Okay. So now I know we're getting technical now, but I'm
I
just
know.
curious to know when you do something like that, like if I'm going to, like if you're going to record this video and you're going to put it out there, but you're not going to like allow your sound, like your voice
Correct.
to come out. So you have these
Yeah.
words that come across your screen or however you do it. You must need like a special software or program to do that.
To add text. Well, in
Yeah.
Instagram has a built-in edit.
Oh,
It's
it
called Edit.
does. Oh, it
Yeah,
does.
app. It's
Okay.
free to use. So
So I feel like for me to learn how to do this,
yeah,
I have to take a special course because I mean I know how to put a story, I know how to make a post, but to do that, I don't know how to do that.
it's very simple. It's an edits app that you could do that.
Okay.
But I know we're getting technical, but at the same time, for your listeners that may be struggling with that part, these are some options to say, I'm still doing reels.
Right.
But I'm not just doing where I'm talking, because what I find, another thing that I discovered being in the social media space and I never thought would happen is we have so much anxiety when it comes to our online presence.
Yeah,
The
which is
fact,
so
yeah.
I find it really strange. And now
Yeah.
maybe it's the age thing. Like, I look at my daughter's a hairdresser
Yeah.
and she's got no problem putting like
Yeah.
stuff on. And I'm like, why are you putting that on? Like in my own
Yeah.
head, I'm like, why are you doing this? Like yesterday, she was showing products that she sells and
Yeah.
she's putting the product on her hand so that the camera could see what the product looked
Yeah.
like. And I'm like, I don't need to see that. When I'm in your chair, show me that. But but then after I was like, but the reality is, if I'm interested in product only, right, at least I have an idea of what you're selling, because that's what it comes down to, right?
It is. It's basically getting ourselves visible, but also attracting the right people, right,
Right.
for business. So
Yes.
for her, it would be like if she's a brick and mortar, which a salon is, most people are not like, just roaming around on the streets anymore. We're
Right.
mostly
Right.
spending a lot of time on the phone. So it just makes sense to get them from the phone, right, from
Right.
online
And
space
at
to come
24 years
out.
old, yeah,
Yeah,
at 24 years old, she knows. I mean, she's been
yeah.
on social, like she's been on her phone since she was 14. So she's like, she's in the middle of it, right? Whereas I'm still an outsider looking in, really, like I really still don't get it. And part of me doesn't want to get it, right? Part of me wants to stay the old way, right? Because it's easier, right?
It's
Or
yeah,
is
it
it?
is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I think we're all like a lot of my clients just come and say, the ones that I'm coaching and be like, oh, if I would maybe some days I just feel like I would pay you to do this, which I don't do it anymore. But the reality is, as an entrepreneur, we're the face of the business.
Right.
So
Right.
no matter who will be basically putting those reels for you or creating content and
It
posting
has to be
that,
me.
exactly.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
it's very important to basically finding ways to slowly overcome the fear.
Yes. Okay. Well, that is something that I'm working on. I've been saying that for a long time, but I still am. I'm like, beyond baby steps. I'm like, really inching. You know what I mean? But I'm getting there. Like, and I find now, and I know that you can talk on this because you're going to have
Yeah.
experience with this, but I find I can do really good for 2 or 3 months where I post consistently, right? And I post on content that I'm working with, like, with not
Yeah.
necessarily clients, but this kind of things that I'm working with clients. And then I'll have a busy weekend, or I'll have a week where I'm like in meetings all day, every day, and social media leaves my mind, right? And then it takes me 2 or 3 months to get back into that consistency, right? And now I know there's automation. I know that there's, it's planning, being strategic. I know that it's all kind of encompassed in one. But how do we get past that, getting off track?
So working with my own clients and including myself, where I have gone through periods where I burn out and stopped posting, or my business got really busy. And then I was like, okay, I have other forms of marketing that I was basically utilizing. A lot of it for a lot of people has to do with shame.
Shame.
They are ashamed to go back out there because they had
Oh,
gone away for so long and the accounts were quiet, because while they're not doing it, behind the scene, they're still anxious. They're aware of it, that it's not being done.
oh my goodness. I never thought of shame. That's funny. I never thought of
Yeah.
shame. But yeah, I get it. It's like, okay, well, if you miss one day, I know
Yeah.
they'll forgive me. If you miss 2 days, they're going to be like, well, what's going on? Like, where is she? By the third day, it's like, oh, she's forgotten, right? Like she's given up on me.
Or months, right? For some people.
Yes, yes,
Because
yes,
what
yes.
happens is you know that you should be doing it. So it's not that it's not nagging in your head that it needs to be
Right.
done. So you disappear. It's kind of like you're disappearing on your followers. So it does show a little bit that you're not being consistent, which is the
Distant.
credibility. It's like, disappearing on your clients.
Ah, yeah, that makes sense. Well, I'm a little surprised, actually,
So
right? To be honest, shame, I guess I mean, I know what shame is, but
yeah,
when you said it, I feel guilty for feeling that shame. And so I knew what it was. I get, maybe I didn't want to believe that. I don't know. I
it's
don't know, but it makes sense. It does make sense. Like I get it now.
so for me, I thought it was like I had a lot of shame when this periods that I had that, and I thought, okay, because it has to do, well, I'm in the social media space.
No.
But then I had other clients that were struggling with that, and then they literally said that they feel ashamed to go back. It's like,
Okay.
and then also it's like, what do I do now? What do I say?
Yeah.
Why was I gone for so long?
And so, okay, in that case,
Yeah.
and I've done this myself, like I've put a message out there. So this is what I do now, right?
Yes.
Like, my business has changed, or, my focus has changed, or whatever it was. I've done that once or twice now. How many times do we do that before, our potential clients who are following us and seeing us on social media go, this woman doesn't know what she's doing? Like, how many times can we do that before we lose them forever?
Well, ideally, I would like to see that we do have a plan in place that you can be consistent at some capacity. So even let's say if you've been posting every day and then maybe you're going to reduce it to 3 times, but you still have some sort of
Some
presence.
sort of. So it's basically try not, like, do your best not to fall off completely. Like,
Correct.
even if it's not like your regular content and you're posting like,
Yeah.
a meme or, oh my gosh, you're not going to believe what I did today. Like something like that, just to stay present somehow, some
Yes.
way.
So that's
Okay.
good. And then from a tech side of thing, like I have to get technical because it's social media. The algorithm doesn't like when you disappear for so long. It takes a lot of work to basically get the algorithm to warm up again once you come back.
Yeah, I noticed that. If I don't go on
Yeah.
Facebook for even just for a weekend,
Yeah.
all I get is ads.
It's not
Oh
from
my
your end,
God.
it's your content is not going to be shown to more people.
Right. And I get that
It gets
part.
that
But
part.
even
Yes.
like if I don't go on
Yeah.
Facebook and I don't look at other
Yeah.
people's content, all I get for the first,
Yeah.
100 messages, it's all ads. I'm like, I want to see my people, right? I want to
Because you,
see what,
yes, because you
yeah,
haven't been interacting with posts, so they don't really know
yeah.
at this point where you stand in terms of your interest, because
Uh,
that's how
yeah,
it
that's one
works.
thing I don't like about
Um,
social media.
One other thing that, and this is not mine, I had heard this from someone else. What she does is she goes through the times where she wants like a mental health break from social media. She actually, in those times, invests in hiring a company to do it.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know about, I mean, I guess
Yes.
everyone to their own, right?
Yeah.
Every company has to do what works for them.
Yeah.
I like to be on there. I
Yeah.
want to be the one engaging
Yeah.
with my people. But I can see how when, because there's certain times of the year where your business is going to be busier than normal. And
Correct.
even just that half hour a day or whatever time that you are spending, it's too much, right? So I can see where that could come into,
It's that, and sometimes for some people, they may be going through stuff. So from a mental health aspect, it's affecting them, and they just don't want to be on the platform. So
right,
having a company to maybe not do their usual post, but just have some sort of content going out there,
right,
it just keeps basically the consistency going.
right. Yeah, that makes sense. Wow. Okay. I
In
love
in
this.
terms,
This is
yeah, and
great.
then in terms of like how many times, I feel like there's really not a lot of times. What I do if I take long breaks, I always find something to bring back to say why I took the break. So I'll be honest and be like, oh, I was gone, but then maybe I was working on something exciting.
Right, right. I have one coming out in the next
Yeah,
week on the same thing, right? I've been
yeah,
posting, but definitely not
yeah,
consistently. But I do have a good reason. Like it's not like I've been, sitting back on
yeah,
the couch going, I don't feel like it today. No, I've been in something.
yeah.
So okay, so that's good to know. So you can do that. Like just know that your people are watching for you when
Correct.
that
Yes.
comes out. Yeah. Okay, so that's good. That's good. Now yeah, I mean, obviously, we've been talking for the last half hour about you and your making entrepreneurs visible. So maybe you can tell me, how can someone sort of begin to see their own uniqueness as an advantage rather than something that they need to tone down? Like if I want to be, like, sometimes I feel like I'm loud, and I don't consider myself obnoxious, but loud and maybe a little bit too, I don't know what the word is. I don't want to say too much, but too much of something, right? So how, if I don't want to come across like that, or, I want to tame it down a bit, how do I do that?
Why
Like,
would you want to tame it down? That's my
well, and
question to
I
you.
knew that was going to be your question for me, right? Because I mean, we want to see you for who you are, right? I
Yeah,
understand that. That has been drilled in my head
yeah.
with this social media, but sometimes that's not who I want to be, right? Like, if it's something that, I don't know if I can word this
So is it who
properly.
you don't want to be? So here's something that happened to me. I can only again talk
Okay,
about my own experiences.
right.
Something I had struggled with for a long time was just I'm very laid back and I'm very like soft spoken and very like I'm the opposite of being in your face. And I struggled with that because I would see other women that were not like that, and I would just be like, "Oh, to me the idea of being like confident was that."
Oh,
Or they would dress a certain way, and I would be like, oh, if I need to, in order for me to be confident, I need to be like this person. I need to dress this way. I need to wear heels. I need to get my
Mhm.
nails done. And you know what I mean? And be always
Right,
put together.
right,
It's so it's actually so for me, I turned 40 last year, so it's been now in my 40s, I realized that I think I like the idea of that person, but that person is not me.
right. So basically, it comes down to accept who you are, right?
Correct.
And love who you are. Like I always use that phrase, accept it and embrace it, right? Like it doesn't matter what the person beside you is
Yeah.
or who he or she is. What matters is me, right? Like what matters is, am I being my authentic self? Am I being myself? Because there are people out there for you.
Correct. And that's what I love about just entrepreneurship in general. I feel like there's our people for everyone.
I love this. Okay, so this, I mean, I
Because we can
honestly,
attract them, right? As long as we put our authentic self out there.
exactly. And I guess that's what the key is, right? So is that the kind of advice that you give to women then that, are like, oh, I can't be like that, or I can't, always comparing themselves to others, right?
I just talk based on my own experience. So most of basically because my coaching is really like social media marketing coaching, I can't really get into mindset, but what I help my clients when it comes to mindset stuff is to do with my own personal experience. It's like, hey, this is what worked for me. And for me, I came to that realization because it's like I don't want to get my nails done. I like the idea. When I see on another woman, I want to compliment and say, "Oh my God, that looks great." But when I get it done, I'm so uncomfortable. Or when
Wow.
I'm in heels, I hate it. So then I'm not being myself and I'm very uncomfortable and people could tell.
That's so true, right? I always have my nails done because I can't stand
Yeah.
them not done. But I do the same thing. I'll see women who don't have their nails done
Yeah.
and it looks so freeing, right? And then I go and I don't do my nails and I'm like, oh my God, I hate it. I can't stand the way it feels and I can't,
Yeah.
but that's the same thing with everything, whether it's the clothes we're wearing, the food we're eating, the way we do our hair, our makeup, all the things, right? You have to do what feels right for you, not what
It's
looks right on someone else.
correct. It's like we love the idea because it's like it looks polished and everything, but that does that idea of that person or that thing that they are doing, does it resonate with us as in like when we actually do it? Like I hate blazers and you know what I mean? Like I wear them sometimes, but and I know like I'm like, okay, this is not making me feel confident. So
Yeah, exactly. I don't feel better when I wear
yes,
that suit or that outfit. I
correct.
would rather be wearing yoga pants and a sweatshirt. No, I mean,
Yes.
obviously you can't work like that, but
But
yeah,
I'm just,
like
yes.
that's who I am is, the yoga and the sweatsuit or the suit. I mean,
Yes, and then somebody that can wear the yoga pants and the sweatsuit, they may not have a single one of them in their wardrobe.
right, right. But they, I mean, if you go to their wardrobe,
Yes,
they're wearing their wardrobe is, full of clothes that make them who they are. And if it's not, they're probably not wearing half of their clothes, right? I mean,
correct.
that's what life comes down to. Oh my God. Okay, so this conversation is amazing because it all comes down to the same thing, right? Like it's accept yourself for who you are, right? And let the world accept you for that,
That and then
right?
also, I guess for me, was overcoming a lot of messaging that has to do maybe the society, but also in general too, but people around me of what a successful woman should look like.
Right.
and
Yes.
and
And
and not right and
yeah,
all of that you take that on so then you can go with that perception that that's how you in order for you to be this way you need to be seen as successful. For me
right.
it's been that I have been struggling a lot with that success component of it and so
Yes.
what does success mean to me lately?
Right. And so you just
Yeah.
hit it actually. So, we all need to understand that every single person on the earth has a different definition of
Yes.
success, right?
Correct.
Now, I don't know where it was, but I was saying that, someone like you could be, your definition of success might be keeping my kids out of jail because I grew up in a family that everybody I knew was in jail, right? And if my kids are all 24, 25 and they're not in jail, that to me is success, right? And
Yeah.
yet another person might be, well, success is I have $10 million in the bank when, I retire and I'm ready to go into that chapter of my life, right? If you define success that way, there's no right or wrong, but it's got to mean something different to every single person.
Correct. And we don't want to compare and then take on other people's definition
Right.
of success, right? Of what we're told.
Exactly.
And I see like a lot of this happens even in the marketing space. I don't know if you've noticed that, where a lot of coaches would be like, "Oh, I'm going to help you get into 10K months or 5K months," and
Yeah. No, so that
which
doesn't happen.
makes a lot of people also that I have personally talked to feel very anxious behind the scene
Well, yeah,
because they
because
feel like they haven't got there.
and if they haven't got
Yeah.
there, like if they've been working at their business for 5 years and they've barely had like a $3,000 month,
Yeah.
now you're going to get me to a 10,000 month after a 3-hour course? I don't think so, right?
For them, yes, it's not the 3 hour course or the commitment aspect of it. It's just the money component because what we're doing now, we're attaching success to that $10,000 month. We're attaching success to that $5,000 month. So
Okay.
so for me, when I was making the $10,000 months, I was miserable.
Mm.
So
You're
the idea
working your,
that was
yeah,
but that was the dream of getting there and then getting there, and I was not really enjoying it. But it's like because for me that was not my definition of success. I had take on all the other people's where they're telling me that I should be there at that level.
right. Because let's be honest, a
Yeah.
$10,000 month, it's not like, it's not easy, right? You have to work hard.
It is, yes, you could basically, depending on your product and services, you can make it work, but it's also have to look at it is that to for me, it's like I thought that's what I wanted because all the messaging I see around me, that's what it was saying. And then I got it and I'm like, oh, I don't want this because maybe certain things I didn't want it to sacrifice, right? Like the time with my kids and my family.
Right. And you have
Yeah,
to balance it all, right?
correct.
And what's more important sometimes, right?
And and
Yeah.
that's the thing. And for me, that's more like to me, success is just basically, spending more time with my kids and my family. So that's where it's like I struggled with that part.
Yes.
But in general, it's like it's like it makes it feel like you will get there and you will have this feeling, but it's just another day.
Ah, yes. Yeah, I get that. I get that.
So
Wow.
yeah, so for me it was like, oh my God, I chased this for so many years. I got here, I worked so hard, but this is it. This is how you
Right. And I think that's what a
yeah,
lot of us feel,
yeah,
right? I don't aim for the $10,000 a month. I don't, because I
yeah,
don't want to put in the work. I'll be
yeah,
honest, right? I'm here to help women. I'm not here to take their money, right? I mean, yes, I get
yeah,
paid for helping them because, you know, I deserve to be given what I'm going to give you, right? Like I
yeah.
deserve that just like you deserve what I'm about to do for you. But to aim for $10,000 a month is not my thing.
And that's the thing. So that
Yeah.
may not be your thing. Where for me now, I'm looking at it and going, I want to get back there, but I want to do it smarter.
Right. And okay, so that's the
Yeah,
difference. Now, of course, I'm kind of in that retirement age,
yeah,
so I'm not necessarily bringing, the bread to
yeah,
the table, right? You still have young kids, you still need that,
correct.
right? My kids are kind of, on their own, so we're a different,
Yeah,
phase of life. So I can see where the difference is. Wow, this has been an awesome conversation. I want to know more
yeah.
about your networking event, the Coffee and Collab. Now, it sounds super exciting, right? It sounds like you really built it up. What do you think made the event so like so deep and so I guess resonant is the word. I'm not sure with other entrepreneurs. Like why do they love it so much?
Honestly, I'm like, it's the people that it attracts, and I don't know how it does that. So it's the what a lot of the women entrepreneurs says it's the energy. It's the people like it just attracts a lot of like-minded people. So it started last April. It has to obviously, like I mentioned, being yourself has to do with me because I was basically the host, so it attracted the people that are attracted to me.
Right. And so you are yourself, right?
Correct.
Anybody who
So it's
meets you
very
sees that.
low. Yeah, it's very like laid back, soft energy in the room.
Oh, I
You're
love
not
it.
really allowed to sell there. So we do share out our businesses, but there's no like hard pitches.
I
And I
love
get a
that.
lot of feedback around that how people love that. The fact that you feel like you're not being going to a networking event and being pitched to. So there's that component that comes together. And also what I have done is I have looked at all the other networking events that I was basically not getting what I wanted and combined that and created it too.
Okay. So is it live or is it online or both?
It's actually live only.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so
Okay.
it's only in right now it's only in Durham region, which is in Toronto, close to Toronto. That's where it is. Hopefully it will come out your way.
Well, there's these things we call franchises, and you never
Yes,
know, right? It
yes,
might be something that you
correct.
could look into,
Yes,
and
yeah.
I'm not going to be the one to push that, but there is that thought, right? So I love that.
It has, yes, it has sold out since every event, since the inception of it.
That's
So to
amazing.
me, like I'm a big believer from even just seeing that, the results of that, that you just need to be yourself and you'll attract the people that are attracted to you.
Right, right. And that's perfect. I love that for you. So that's
Thank
congratulations.
you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So we're going to talk visibility. Visibility is often equated with social media. But
Correct.
but you also talk about showing up like online and offline. What
Correct.
does true visibility really look like for entrepreneurs today?
That's a great question. So to me, visibility is really any form of marketing. So it doesn't like right now, yes, these days 90% of it is online with the online space and having a website, but visibility is also going to a networking event. Visibility is having a flyer or your business card. Those are still gets you to be visible, right? Coming to a podcast, yes, it's online, but if we were to do this like a TV interview,
Right.
same concept,
Same
right?
idea. Yeah.
It's any way, like basically any forms of marketing that makes you visible to your audience, to people. Now, there's two things that I see in terms of the business space and visibility. There are entrepreneurs that are scared to be visible, which until now we were talking about that aspect of it, right? Like
Right. Right.
there's a lot of fears to go out there and put yourself out there. So there's that component of it. And then there's people that are visible but are actually invisible. So there are entrepreneurs that say, I've been to like all the networking events, but I'm not really getting any results. I'm not getting any clients. They may doing the right things. They think they're doing the right things, but they're still not visible. So to me, visibility is like you could be in a room, but you could still be invisible if you don't know. For example, if you're at a networking event and you don't know how to really network, you may still, not a lot of people may end up basically meeting you and
Right.
getting to know what you do. Or if you
Right.
could be too aggressive, that could also be a problem.
Right. Yeah, and I could see that. And so, okay, so I I don't belong to this community, but I follow this community and I go to two events a year. And I went there and I would park myself at the table and I would sit at that table pretty much for the whole event, right? Didn't really talk to anybody other than who was at my table, right? Then I started the podcast. And so I started inviting some of the women to be a guest, right? And I could have a conversation with them like I knew them all my life. Get me in line, like in the same room as them, and I wouldn't talk to them, right? And it wasn't necessarily that because I'm not shy, right? I didn't feel, I guess, comfortable and confident enough to like really put myself out there as a coach, right? So I can relate with what you're saying, right? And it was, I didn't really, I guess I really at the end of the day, I didn't feel like I knew what I was doing, right? Like I still had lots of learning to do and I didn't know how to tell people what I was doing, right? I didn't really know the words to explain. I'm getting better because I've done a lot of training, right? But I know what you mean about you can be there but still not heard, right? And it's you can't just sit in a room and expect people to come to you and say, what do you do?
No, I mean, some people, they are like, they would go and go around and we talk to you, but you may not get a lot. Like they don't get a lot of people because sometimes people are just busy networking with each other and they may just forget you that you're sitting there.
Yeah. Okay.
And then
So when you're
also you're limiting yourself to the people that you're going to meet at the table.
right. So when you're in a meeting like that, instead of doing what I used to do,
Yeah.
right, and sitting there, I mean, I always talk to people, but I would never talk my business. What should I have been doing? Like when I go to these events, right? I mean, I don't look at the women around me as my potential clients. The majority of them are doing kind of what I do.
Okay,
So,
so similar
yeah.
stuff.
Right. And I mean, they might not be doing exactly what I'm doing, but
Yeah.
similar. And if they don't do what I do, they know somebody who does. So when I sit with these women, what do I tell them? What do I need to know about myself to share with them so that, I mean, I guess I need to be like a good collaboration prospect or something for them, right? I mean, that's because I still want to network with them. I still want to be connected with them. But what do I need to tell them? Who do I need to be?
To me, it's like understanding your business inside out. So a lot of us, we don't really understand our business.
Oh,
And I sit across clients and ask questions and they can't answer me. So a lot of us, for us, we struggle to understand our business really well. And even so, when I pivot to what I do now, visibility coaching, I think the first 5 months, I struggled with my messaging myself. So I wasn't even putting a lot of content on social media because I didn't know what to post because my messaging, I really struggled with it. I
uh,
had a lot going on and I'm like, who am I? Who am I? And then who am I as a
yes,
brand, right? So that's basically not who am I as, yes, the personal brand aspect of it, but who is the Made It Happen collective? Like,
right.
who is it? What are the pillars of it? What do I stand for? And I was struggling with that until I think it was by October, September that I basically figured that part out. And then now I'm like, exactly, I know what it is. It's a visibility platform. That's what it is. Where before I really struggled with that. So really understanding and being clear on who you are as a business or what your brand is one component of it. And also knowing what things makes you unique. So when in the cases where there may be people similar to yours or they already know so many people, I feel like we all have things that we do a certain way. Like how I do social media or how I see visibility may be completely different than somebody else that does something similar than like same exactly same thing, but they may have different answers for you.
Right. And that's what that's what coaching is all about, right? Like you just need to hear it a certain way for it to resonate with you. And I get that
Yeah.
part.
So
Yeah.
there's that component. Also, from a belief aspect of it, I believe that's why I always even tell my clients, at least you need to connect with 3 different people to see who you resonate with. So if there is, for me, like let's say 3 people that I need to get my website done, I will want to talk to those 3 people and see which one I really resonate with and which one do I want to work with.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah, that totally makes sense. So tell
So
me.
having, yeah, multiple people, that's basically the way I
Right.
approach it.
Right. And then when you're doing these networking events, there's no reason why you can't have the 3 people.
Correct. So for me, like there's no limits of who can come
Right.
there because not everybody would resonate with everyone.
Right.
And you
That
also
totally.
don't want to pressure somebody that they have to work with this person.
Right. Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. What's one simple shift a business owner can make right now to become more visible?
Oh wow. That's like one shift. We've talked a lot about mindset. I think mindset is big. I'm a big believer on that because based on my own personal experience, and then I also mentioned 80% of visibility marketing, it's mindset.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love that. What would you say to our listeners right now to encourage them to start showing up a little bit more authentically, either in their business or just in life general?
Okay. Well, what I would say is to just do it. Make that post that you've been sitting on, because I've been there, and just hit the post.
Yeah. I love that. And that's
Yeah.
sometimes that's hard, but
Yes.
once you do it, you've done it and you can be celebrated and be proud of yourself. I love it.
Correct.
So you've been in your business 13 years. What's been the biggest lesson that you've learned about confidence and being unapologetically yourself?
That I have played small for a long time in my business.
Wow. Yeah. And now you're the queen, right? Like now you've taken that position.
Well, I have kind of owning it.
Yeah.
It's about, I guess for me, playing small was I was doing so many great things. I had so many, and then I sat with so many great ideas and didn't implement it because I was playing small. Because again, yes, confidence, fears, messaging, limiting beliefs, all of,
Yeah. Yeah. So what was the lesson you learned in that?
that you just do it. Like you said, like you didn't feel confident about, that enough. I feel like sometimes we get so caught up in learning more. We just want to learn and learn. When we get in that stage forever, right? We never want
Yeah.
to come out of it. And in doing space, like that's basically where
Yeah.
you want to get. Just put yourself out there. Like my coffee and collab and pivoting to create a collective, it was just an idea that I came up with and I just put it out there.
And look at it grow now.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that. Oh, Orzala, thank you so much for today. I loved our conversation. You shared such powerful insights, is visibility, authenticity, and owning our own uniqueness. And I think that we all need to hear that, right? Even though we all probably know it, we need someone else to tell us sometimes just to make it feel right. And I think you did that today.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much. If there's one thing I hope listeners take away from today's conversation, it's this. Your difference is not something to hide. It's the very thing that makes you powerful. If today's episode resonated with you and you're ready to step more fully into your next chapter, I'd love to invite you to join the Bloom Room, my supportive community for women who are reconnecting with themselves, building confidence, and creating the life and business they truly desire. If you're looking for deeper support and personalized guidance, I also offer private coaching designed to help you release self-doubt, gain clarity, and step into the confident woman you're meant to be. You'll find the links in the show notes. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a moment to follow, rate, and share the podcast with any other woman who's ready to bloom into her confidence. Until next time, remember, confidence doesn't come from being perfect. It comes from being unapologetically you.
Thanks for listening. This show was brought to you by Divas That Care. Connect with us on Facebook, on Instagram, and of course on divasthatcare.com, where you can subscribe to our newsletter so you don't miss a thing.